that forget America, white America is an irredeemably racist country, and that the only course for the Negroes is to bring about a final, violent, apocalyptic confrontation of black and white.
As Governor of the State of Michigan, I do hereby officially request the immediate deployment of federal troops into Michigan to assist state and local authorities in reestablishing law and order in the city of Detroit. I am joined in this request by Jerome P. Kavanaugh, Mayor of the city of Detroit.
Pillage, looting, murder, and arson have nothing to do with civil rights.
You're going to sit in front of your television set and listen to LBJ tell you that violence never accomplishes anything, my fellow Americans. But you see, the real problem with violence is that we have never been violent. We have been too nonviolent.
There's no such thing as a nonviolent revolution. The only kind of
salutations. I'm Christopher Platt, reporting for Your Black World News with an article from the Detroit News. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com to learn about financial literacy and how you can grow your business today. Two black public officials say they're outraged after they were given Sambo Awards last week at a dinner honoring former Detroit Mayor Coleman Young. Detroit Water and Sewage Department Director Gary Brown and Police Chief James Craig were given the top two Sambo Awards at a dinner Thursday, hosted by the Call 'Em Out Coalition and its president, African-American activist Agnes Hitchcock. Hitchcock, who attracted national media attention in 2007 when she was arrested and fined for throwing grapes at Detroit school board members, insists the annual awards are meant to shed light on policies that harm the city's black community. Brown and Craig say the awards are racially offensive. When Hitchcock was told Brown and Craig were insulted by the award, she said, quote, "This was a celebration of Mayor Coleman Young's life. He came into office when police were killing black men all over the city of Detroit. Today, Craig lords over a police department that's only 55% black and dropping, so he deserves that award," end quote. Hitchcock said of Brown, quote, "I've lost count of how many times the water rate has increased in Detroit. Gary Brown could use some more awards," end quote. Brown, who received a Sambo Award in 2013 when he was on the city council, said he and others on the list don't deserve to be dragged through the mud like that. If these were white nationalists saying this, we'd be outraged. Well, I am outraged, no matter who said it. And worse, I have to explain this to my grandkids. Craig said the awards undermine efforts to heal a racial divide in the 6th Precinct, and former officers Gary Steele and Michael Garrison were fired for their alleged roles in a racially insensitive Snapchat video. Even Steele and Garrison didn't call black people Sambos, he said. "As someone who has faced discrimination from other black people because of my light complexion, I can tell you, I don't care if it's coming from the mouth of a white man or a black man. Racist is racist, and I'm going to call it out when I see it." The slur Sambo stems from the 1899 book The Story of Little Black Sambo, which contained drawings of black characters with exaggerated features. Hitchcock's Sambo Awards sparked controversy in 2005 when mayoral candidate Sharon McPhail came under fire for participating in the ceremony. That year's awards went to Dave Bing, who at the time was a businessman who would later be elected mayor, and McPhail's opponent, then incumbent mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Radio host and activist Sam Riddle, who emceed Thursday's dinner at the International Institute on Kirby in the Cultural Center, said the awards are deliberately provocative. "The name is the manifestation of the desperation of the majority of Detroit," said Riddle, political director of the Michigan National Action Network and radio host on 910 AM. "They keep running this bullshit about how Detroit is on its way back when over 60% of Detroit children live in abject poverty. Why don't Brown and Craig get upset about that?" Riddle said. Detroit's childhood poverty rate was 48.2% in 2017, according to U.S. Census statistics released in September of 2018. Craig should get upset that he has a police department that doesn't reflect the demographics of the community, Riddle said. Unapologetically, I was proud to MC the Sambo Awards to give light to the rampant racism and inequality in Detroit. Hitchcock said Craig isn't doing enough to recruit more black officers. There's more he can do to get black people on the police department, she said. He can recruit, set up a school for cadets, summer programs for young people. Craig said there are several programs in place aimed at recruiting more minority candidates. But, quote, you can't force people to want to be the police. The lack of minorities joining police departments is nationwide. It's not just a Detroit issue. Have any of these people ever come to me and suggested ways we can improve? Have they ever done anything to help recruit black officers? The answer is no, end quote. Craig continued, instead, they come out with this offensive, racist garbage. It's not okay for anyone to call me a Sambo. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to share this video and let us know what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Your Black World YouTube channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com today. I'm Christopher Platt reporting. Until next time, shalom.
All right. Well, let me read this article verbatim so we can all be on the same page. Detroit police official on racial tensions, get over it. Now, who's going to state get over it is Detroit Police Chief James Craig, right-hand man. Assistant Chief Steve Dolnett.
He's been honest behind closed doors.
This channel is dedicated to benefiting you by educating you through enhanced digital technology or social, cultural, and political, economical development by using social commentary on social issues, real-life events, or news story. If you like, please share and subscribe to Real Detroit
While working
TV.
in internal affairs during the Kwame Kilpatrick administration, he got the memo about misconduct by officers protecting the mayor. It would eventually lead to allegations against Kilpatrick, rumors of the infamous, never confirmed, Manoogian Mansion party, and the mayor's downfall. Dolnett was demoted and transferred numerous times for speaking out.
How hard is it to speak truth to power?
It's hard.
Is it worth it?
At the time, it took a toll on my family. It took a toll on me. People use it as a stepping stone to get, like I said, for their own careers. Don't do the right thing.
Steve Dolnett. Dolnett seemed to miss the problem. Despite recent claims by Detroit Police Chief James Craig, the department does not suffer from a growing race problem. Now, the reason why I'm focusing and examining on this is because the chief put this core group together and then dismissed it when the findings were leaked because he was trying to bury it and to do nothing about it. He wasn't trying to do anything about it to keep the racist, what word am I searching for here? The racial environment that's always been inside the DPD. See, what happens is when these individuals come in, they keep that cultural, they perpetuate and support that racial culture inside of there. Now, facts should be that the policing aspect of society should reflect the society that they're policing. When it doesn't do that, then it becomes racist. So again, the policing aspect of the society must reflect the society that it is policing. And what you've had for too long inside of Detroit is all these white little racist ass individuals coming from the suburbs, coming in and policing the natural residents of Detroit, which is blacks, that they have total disdain for. So then that's why you have such a racist culture inside the DPD.
The Detroit Police Department celebrates diversity, but there are racial disparities within the force, possibly.
A new report suggests possible inequality. Fox 2's Randy Wembley is live in Detroit, and Randy, the chief is disputing those claims.
Yeah, he's disputing the claims that came from the committee he formed to look into race relations within the department. The chief says some of the allegations that were made are baseless. A man who led that committee says otherwise. Do you have any reason to doubt what these officers told you?
Not at all. Not at all, because getting them to talk in the first place was like pulling teeth.
You know, they were afraid. They were afraid of retaliation. They were afraid that there would be some backlash if they spoke out against the issues that occurred.
Retired Detroit cop John Bennett says the scathing report from CORE, DPD's Committee on Racial Equality, reveals a growing racial problem within the department. Bennett was a co-chair and spoke to several black officers who say there's been incidents of disparate treatment when it comes to assignments, appointments, and training opportunities, with white officers receiving preference. Some units are either predominantly or entirely white, even though more than 60% of cops are black. They also allege black officers face retaliation for speaking out about unfair treatment, and that discrimination in the department comes from the top down, from the very people Police Chief James Craig promoted.
What we heard consistently were those names, those deputy chiefs, those command officers, who officers said were the problem.
Most of what they learned was based on perception, innuendo. In some instances, it might have been someone who had a problem with the concerned command officer.
Chief Craig blasted the most damning aspects of the report. He cited the other co-chair, Joseph Weekley, saying many of the allegations have no substance. Craig, however, said there is some good that came from the report, namely concerns raised about the department's Equal Employment Opportunity Office.
Most department members didn't feel comfortable with the investigator that was assigned to that position. They felt that the investigator was dismissive and didn't take it seriously, so we are still in the process of making changes there.
But Bennett says that's far from enough. He says the department needs cultural diversity training for the command staff, but doubts it will happen.
If you look at his track record, his recent track record in the police department as it relates to racial issues, he's been unwilling to address these problems.
Now, I'm not dismissive that there are not race issues or implicit bias that exists. It exists everywhere in America. However, we take those issues very seriously.
And Chief Craig points to DPD's swift reaction to racist Facebook posts made by its officers, as was revealed earlier today. The last officer retired before DPD could cut him loose for comments he made on social media. Now, John Bennett says the Chief Craig went back and forth on whether or not he would disband the committee. The chief ultimately decided to keep it up and running and to expand it. 47 members will join CORE, the Committee on Racial Equality within DPD, including a few civilian employees here at the department. Huel, Taryn?
It would seem, though, that both sides, both the man investigating, John Bennett, someone I know well, both the chief, someone I know well, want to address the problem if there is one, and that certainly begins by getting people together to at least talk to each other, and that's a good first start, seemingly.
That is the first start. Chief Craig, he said that there were some issues that he says were valid within that report made by the committee, but obviously John Bennett, he says that Chief Craig is not really invested in addressing some of those concerns. So obviously two different sides to this story.
More to come. Randy,
Inside the DPD. So instead of addressing it and coming up with corrective actions for it, and I don't believe it's, oh, more police training and all this. You're not. More police training is smoke and mirrors and a pure deflection. That doesn't do anything more. I'm sorry, the form of what is it? What do we used to use in the military? I think it's that they use the same thing inside the police departments. Cultural relations, or no, strike that. Cultural sensitivity classes. You know, even in the military, we used to send white boys or show racist ass white boys or something to that, or even somebody black who said something disparaging. Well, we laugh about that shit. It's a fucking joke. Especially, and then again, where white people stay on code. See, that's the problem. It's the code that white people stay on inside there, where they give slaps on the wrist to these racist ass white police officers that live in the suburb. But actually, just let me read this article and you'll get exactly what's going on. And matter of fact, even one of the individuals that was on the CORE report, one of the officers was the white officer that killed Aiyana Johnson. What kind of sick, twisted shit was the fucking chief of police pulling there? Was he doing that?
The police raided the house on May 16, 2010, throwing a flash grenade to stun the suspect. It is reported they entered the home 3 seconds after the grenade exploded and shot the dog. Officer Joseph Weekley then allegedly turned his gun towards Aiyana and her grandmother on the couch, firing a shot at the 7-year-old's head. She was quickly taken to the hospital.
Aiyana was sleeping closest to the door that was kicked open. The door was not locked, by the way. It was simply kicked open. Aiyana's grandmother, Myrtilla, was sleeping farthest away. Her head was farthest away. One of the questions you all asked was, how would Aiyana be shot through the neck while she's lying on the couch if she was shot from the outside? And the fact of the matter is you were asking me those questions because you were told by the Detroit police and the Wayne County medical examiner that she was shot through the neck, which is totally false. In fact, as Dr. Spitz has determined, and as you will see from the autopsy report, Aiyana was shot through the top of the head. The shot entered virtually almost the center of her head, slightly to the right, and exited her neck. Aiyana was shot at fairly close range, not with inches, but fairly close range. The bullet moved slightly from right to left, downward. And she was not shot in the neck. She was shot through the top of the head while she was sleeping on the couch with her grandmother. The events of that night are proven by the physical evidence that I'm going to provide to you now. An incendiary stun grenade was thrown through the plate glass window. Aiyana's grandmother fell to the floor. The door was simultaneously kicked in and a shot was fired from outside on the porch by a Detroit police officer into the top of Aiyana's head. It exited through her neck. It grazed her chest, and I assume the Detroit police have the bullet, since we don't have the bullet. And it would have gone a long way towards bullet trajectory. After those events, the Wayne County medical examiner was falsely told that Aiyana was shot in the neck and reported that, although the physical evidence proves otherwise. Dr. Spitz has spoken to the Wayne County medical examiner, and it's my understanding that the Wayne County medical examiner now agrees with Dr. Spitz and is in the process of correcting their mistake. Significantly, what is contained on the death certificate from Wayne County is the claim that Aiyana was found by the Detroit police to be shot. The death certificate that you're going to see indicates that she was found shot, and that's true. She was shot from outside the house. When the officers entered the house, Aiyana had already been shot. And so the description by the Wayne County medical examiner is that she was found by the police shot. That part is true. The part that's untrue is the claim by the police that she was shot through the neck. She was not. She was shot through the top of the head. We have a very rough, because this report was just provided to me this morning by Dr. Spitz, although I knew what the findings were last Friday when I sent out the notice for this press conference. We have a very rough recreation, video animation of the events, and we're going to provide those to you. But Anthony, if we could first of all see the first view from the interior itself. Do you have that from the interior view? These are not exactly correct. These were provided, and we recreated these over the weekend without having specifics of Dr. Spitz. But the trajectory of the bullet is in somewhat of this manner. Aiyana is asleep on the couch against the window with Myrtilla against the couch, her head farthest away. The trajectory of the bullet is downward and obviously from the outside. What's most significant in this is it completely disproves this false claim that there was somehow a struggle with Myrtilla's grandmother inside the house. As I've told you, and as the videotape will eventually show you, the shot rang out literally simultaneously with the stun grenade going through the window. And so there was certainly no time for a struggle, let alone any police being inside the house. If there had been a struggle, there would be numerous police inside the house also, because they, as you'll see on the videotape, when they knocked down the door, there were 5 to 15 officers right there. It might behoove you to ask if they want to stick with this totally false and ridiculous claim of a struggle within the house. What other officers were inside the house that observed it, and how did she get shot? How did Aiyana get shot from the top of the head? Could I see the next from the outside now, the outside view? The outside, and this is what you will eventually see. There are more officers than this, but there are at least 5, and probably much more than that, on the porch. You will see this type of numbers of people, and even more on the porch when Aiyana is shot. She's carried out within a second or two after the shot, probably 5 or 6 or 7 seconds afterwards, so she's found shot. Finally, can I see the overview, Anthony? This is an overview. They were going into both doors. The upstairs flat is on the left. Aiyana's flat, where I want to stress that Mr. Chauncey Owens did not reside, never resided, never stayed, is on the right, where they broke in and shot Aiyana. He never resided there, and I think you should make that clear to the public. I mean, why you continually write he was upstairs to make it seem as if he was in the same premises. It was a different house. It's a different address. He wasn't upstairs in Aiyana's house. Aiyana's house has no upstairs. Aiyana was shot in the manner in which we see right now. Roughly. When we actually have the photographs from Dr. Spitz, we'll be able to more closely correlate exactly the direction of the gunshot. But it was from outside and the top of her head. You can pass out the information now to all the press, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Yes.
You mentioned the videotape. Were you any closer to...
When I get it, you'll see it. Go ahead. Anything else?
I have not seen the Wayne County medical examiner
You will.
report.
Nobody's seen it, but I have their death certificate. And their death certificate indicates she died of a gunshot wound to the neck. That's not true. She died of a gunshot wound to the top of her head.
When last we spoke, you said you weren't sure if you were going to get a copy of the video.
Well, I'm never sure, but I was assured that I would get a copy. Don't worry, you're going to get a copy.
I mean, did you reach out to the people? Did they contact you and say we're going to give it to you?
Both. There's an element of fear regarding the videotape. Obviously, this has been, the entire incident here has been a cover-up. And Jeffrey Feiger should not be doing the investigation. This should have come out a long time ago. And I would ask Chief Evans, I would ask the Internal Affairs Department of Detroit Police, and I'd ask Mayor Bing to today, immediately, go back and look at the statements that you received from whoever you took statements from that night or that morning, and see how they correlate with the fact that Aiyana was shot through the top of the head. Any other questions? No, they're doing, I think the Wayne County Medical Examiner, as a matter of course, waits until their microscopic and their toxicology reports are done before they release their autopsy. However, my understanding is that their preliminary report indicated that she was shot through the neck. That is totally untrue. And in fact, I was asked numerous occasions by members of the press, I don't see a gentleman from Channel 4, how she got shot in the neck if she was shot from outside. Did the bullet ricochet? And one of the reporters asked me that question. The fact of the matter is it didn't ricochet and she wasn't shot through the neck. But you were told that by the police.
I'm sorry, these recreations, animations here, what is that based on?
Dr. Spitz's report. But it's not exact. It was done without... We knew what the report was over the phone, but I will be able to now put the exact trajectory and the exact positions of Aiyana at the time.
Was he doing that to, like, clean his fucking record up? or to make like to make his record look better from him killing that little fucking girl, shooting her in the fucking head. So that's some like sick ass shit for him to even have this fucking racist ass. And you know he racist as fuck because even his brother said some racist ass shit about Ferguson on one of these protests, talking about shoot him and kill him.
We're learning Detroit Police Chief James Craig is investigating one of his supervisors in the department for comments that he allegedly made on social media. This comes after an alleged online rant from a detective who had been assigned to the sex crimes unit. Detective Nate Weekley has since been demoted from the rank of detective to an officer, pending the outcome of an internal investigation. Chief Craig tells Action News the post was brought to his attention Saturday, and while many have their own thoughts about what should happen, Chief Craig says he has to be fair.
Preliminarily, it's certainly inappropriate. It certainly is unprofessional. And this is on the heels. I think what's troubling for me, here we are in a meeting on Saturday, meeting with National Action Network about some positive steps that the department and that organization can make together. And then what emerges is a post like this.
Now, as this story continues to develop, we'll be sure to keep you updated on air and online at WXYZ.com.
Do a deep dive on all this shit. For real. And again, to show you just not just the DPD, but it's also the racist ass prosecuting office. The problem is we got all these goddamn coons and these old ass fucking bootlicking ass fucking coons that's keeping the status, keeping the racist system intact.
Of 7-year-old Aiyana Jones Stanley. Now, this little girl was sleeping in her home with her grandmother, and you had a SWAT team, and the leader of the SWAT team was a cop by the name of Joseph Weekley. Now, they did a raid on the grandmother's home, but it was the wrong address. This man busted in the house with this SWAT team and shot this little girl in her head, ended up killing her. Now, this man should have went to prison, hook, line, and sinker. This was wrong address. He just going on there shooting. He lied and said the grandmother tried to grab his gun, but that did not happen at all. So this man ended up going to trial. And in this trial, the grandmother has spoken to this man and told the court exactly what had happened.
What happens after he shoots the gun?
More cops came rushing the house, and I'm laying there screaming, asking somebody to help my granddaughter, because he just shot her in the head, and he wouldn't even help her. They turned on the light and seen that she had been shot and carried out the house. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Why you do it? Why you do it? Please tell me why you come in my house like that. Tell me why you came in my house like that. You killed my grandbaby. You killed her and you try to blame me. You know I never touched you, Mr. Weekley. You know I never touched you. You know you're wrong. You know you wrong. You wrong. You wrong. She was only 7 years old. She was only a baby, man. She was sleeping, and I told y'all, let me get my granddaughter. And y'all didn't even give me a chance. Why y'all do this to me? I get no sleep. I'm sick. I'm sick as hell. I get no sleep. The flashbacks, I wouldn't wish them on nobody in the world, not even you. I wouldn't wish this on no one in the world that have to watch their 7-year-old granddaughter get their brains blown. By the people that supposed to protect and serve her. You the brain. I watched Detroit SWAT. You the brain. You the first one in. You the first one in. You the first one in.
And even after all that you saw, this man did not get convicted. As always, we can't convict him. We unsure, like always. But when it came to the melanated officer, conviction very quickly. But to add insult to injury, they was going to try to do the case again. And you had a judge. And this judge was an enemy to our community. And this enemy that I'm talking about isn't a Caucasian supremacist. No, it wasn't. It was a coon. You had a coon, and you're going to see this news clip, sit there and drop the felony charge on the cop and end up dropping the misdemeanor charge as well. And he went free. And I want you to hear what this coonette said about justice for that child. Let's go roll a clip.
I'll grant the prosecution's motion, dismiss this case, and cancel the bond.
After nearly 5 years and 2 hung juries, Officer Joseph Weekley walked into court for the final chapter of this case.
2 separate juries decided that they could not reach a decision with this misdemeanor charge.
Today, that charge was dropped. A 3rd trial will not take place. The case officially dismissed. Judge Hathaway told the court if anyone feels justice was not served, they should blame her.
So if someone needs a scapegoat for what's happening here today, and what's happening here is justice, then put it on me.
And that's exactly what Ron Scott, the family representative for Aiyana Jones, did.
Can she wake up every morning and say that you dropped the charge that would have rendered justice for a little girl that can't have justice now?
He's referring to that felony manslaughter charge that Hathaway dropped in trial number 2.
We're talking about factual information that she did not allow the jury to adjudicate in the 2nd trial. Negligent homicide. In any other trial, that would have been the case.
But the judge reminded the court it wasn't just one child who lost their life, but 2, when 17-year-old Jerian Blake was gunned down and killed the day before the police raid.
All young people deserve to become adults. All of them.
She knew she was wrong. That's why she said if you want to blame somebody, blame her. She had no regard for that 7-year-old child's life. None. Did not care. I don't see how you could sleep at night to sit there and let someone go free after shooting someone in the head. I guarantee you she don't let no black dude go free for doing the same thing or less. And these are the kind of people that get in those positions. People that cut our throats. This is why we're going to have to identify and extradite all these people in our community, male and female, who are against us. To me, they are worse than the Caucasian supremacists, because look at what they do. They are in a position to do some good, and yet they choose not to. They choose to side with Massa and send Massa home to eat a sandwich after he ended up shooting a little 7-year-old girl in the head. He didn't even get any disciplinary action from the Detroit Police Department. He broke rules. He broke protocol. He was highly trained in everything. He wasn't your ordinary police officer. And yet nothing happened to him. He went on back to work like nothing went down. Not only we have to deal with it from people who could be Caucasian supremacists, but now we have to deal with it as well, and been dealing with it ever since the plantation fields, coons. If you watch Birth of a Nation, what messed them up? Someone go and tell Massa. They was kicking butt until that happened. It's always some black person that's always in their face. And it's sickening. It's so sickening to see that. They're used to infiltrate groups. They're used to put argument and dissension between the community. They're there to always report back to what's going on. We should have no trust and no love for people like that. And for that woman, I hope she's not sitting on the bench right now. But 9 times out of 10, she probably is, because we in our community don't want to register to vote because we feel voting don't matter. And we don't want to get involved with local politics when we actually can have more of a say-so what's going on with your judges and your DAs and your sheriffs and city council and mayor. Those elections matter more than the presidential election, because those people are going to affect you a lot more, your local politics, and your votes are actually counted. That presidential electoral college stuff, it don't go on counting your votes. So I don't even know why you make a big deal about that. But this stuff is just sick and sad. I mean, it just floored me, because all y'all talked about that police officer got off, but y'all did not know that coon sit there and let that man go free. Whew. Boy. Yeah, I have just such a sick feeling to the pit of my stomach to some of the evil that people can do, whether it's the cop or even this coon. Man, I just can't stand even, I mean, just the audacity for this female to say, you want to blame somebody, blame me. You took all the blame, even though you didn't shoot nobody, but yet you took the blame for not giving justice to that child. But I bet you if it was a melanated officer and a white child, you'd probably gave him 100 years for doing the exact same thing. We know you would, because you want to show Massa that you can do the exact same thing that he can do.
And this is my belief. Now, this is my own personal note, and this is my own personal belief. That, strike that. And I'm going to look at it as facts, but I'll just say as belief, but I'll present my facts, and then you can decipher it any way that you want to. And if you want to dispute them, then go do your research to dispute the facts that I present for you. Now, we live in a white supremacist system and culture. So when you go out to work on these little work plantations, that's what I call them, work plantations, look at them. Either there's a woman who's heading that plantation, or a light-skinned nigga like Chief Craig spill some house nigga shit. And it's like black people, we always, I guess somebody, we want the light-skinned niggers to rule over the dark-skinned niggers. But this shit's been like this since the goddamn plantation. But keep it real, let me stay on focus. Plantation, the plantation in which we live in. So when you're working on these work plantations, these white supremacist work plantations, right? When you're implementing their policies and rules, what does that make you? A fucking boy, I strike that, blackface white supremacist. That's what's going on. If you're implementing those rules, then and that's the genius of this white demonic ass goddamn system, that they put niggas in place or these fucking new arrivals to implement the racist ass structure that they have. But the problem is, what fucking hurt me to my core of my soul is to see these old racist ass niggas, these old bootlicking ass niggas do this shit with glee. That's why we so fucking demonic right now. We are so fucking wicked. We have become these fucking crackers right now. Motherfuckers in love with, black people are in love with wickedness. They love being fucking wicked. They love the evil shit. That's why you see so many times one of these motherfucking police officers beating the shit out of a kid, or just doing just some demonic ass shit. Since integration, we have become these fucking crackers. But let me pause there and continue to read this article and shit. I'm about to cut and chop and screw this shit up, because I'm all over the place with this. So, be patient and shit, because I don't even want to show my face. I like staying in the background, being real. But motherfuckers so stupid, and the information is not being presented in the way that it should. It made me come to the fucking front line. I don't want to be on the fucking front line. I've been on the front line too fucking long. Keeping this shit 100, I've been on the front line too long, and these niggas don't give a fuck. You get your fucking head beat in for these fucking niggas, and they don't give a fuck. And you know what? Let me take pause and read the article, because that's a whole nother, I'm going to go on a tangent, and that's a whole nother story. So, despite recent claims by Detroit Police Chief James Craig that the department does not suffer from a growing race problem, minutes from a board of police commissioners meetings show his right-hand man acknowledged racial tensions in the department as early as the summer of 2015. This is a bunch of bullshit. These niggas know since they've been there has been a racist ass culture. But let me stick to the article. And according to several people who were at the meeting, Assistant Chief, pronouncing his name right, seemed to dismiss the problem. They know this nigga dismissed. Listen to what he said. Now listen to this arrogant, egotistical, bliss and fucking arrogance, shit that this cracker says. He a fucking cracker. I'm calling him a fucking cracker because he don't deserve no respect. Because he know that like they're investigating the racist aspect of the DPD, and this fucking cracker got the audacity and the fucking balls, because he know he's not going to be reprimanded, to make a statement like this. Some whites don't like blacks. Some blacks don't like whites. Some men don't like women. Some women don't like blacks, says Dolan. At the July 16, 2015 event. I've dealt with racial tensions before, and I'm not the most PC person, but listen what this motherfucker said. This a white man saying this shit. I dealt with racial tension before, and I'm not the most PC person, but get over it. You're wearing blue. Bitch, see, that's the fucking problem with these fucking crackers on a motherfucking real. Bitch, you are white. You are the example of a fucking slave master. White people have done so much evil, persecuted so much evil and genocide on black people. How could you ever in this fucking in this reality fix your mouth to even first off think? No, fuck that. How could you even think some shit like that, and let alone let some shit like this spew out your fucking mouth? So, but this is the arrogance, because they know he ain't gonna be checked. He know he got a house nigga sitting next beside him. Chief Craig ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing to this fucking white boy. That's why. So then look, see, this was going on. That's why you got police officers fighting other police officers, like black fighting white ones, but they all supposed to. But when something go wrong, they all get down on the same code, knowing that these motherfucking racist ass department. But see, here's the problem. So when these white cops do some fuck ass shit, all they do is go to this little cracker ass, this motherfucking suspect, ghost skin ass race soldier, Steve, and they know they gonna get a fucking pass. That's the problem. But look how, like, this how much balls this motherfucker got. He gonna say this shit in a fucking interview. All right, let me continue the story. And according to several people who were at the meeting, Assistant Chief, for those that couldn't deal with it, the Assistant Chief noted for those who couldn't deal with it, first off, motherfucker, why should anybody, any fucking job, have to deal with some fucking racism? First off, for those that couldn't deal with it. See, ain't no fucking way that I'd have been able to wear no motherfucking uniform, because I put one of these fucking white boys would have went night, and then when I went in front of one of these motherfuckers, they'd have went night, so they had my nigga ass under a motherfucking jail or dead, because I'm not dealing with no bitch, I ain't dealing with no cracker like that. I don't give a fuck how many guns you got. I don't give a fuck how many. I don't give a fuck if there's 100 of you crackers like this. I'm not dealing with it, and I will slay one of you motherfuckers again to make you motherfucking cracker out of a fucking example. That's the goddamn problem. We ain't got enough niggas on the front line to make one of these motherfuckers out of an example that's in there. And again, if one of these crackers on the fucking force got their goddamn jaw shattered when they came with that fuck shit, that shit have stopped ASAP, because they let them know, like, and I know I've been doing this shit for a long time, dealing with racist ass motherfucking crackers. You fuck one of them up bad, the rest of them, no, don't fuck with him. He not to be fucked with. He not to be, and they listen, and they get on cold and shut that shit up around you, because all they be doing is testing you with their language and they fucking racism. But so many niggas, they just fall up under that pressure, and they fall, I guess because they think they white Jesus or whatever. But I don't give a fuck about no cracker. These motherfuckers are not intellectually superior. Most of these motherfuckers got a low IQ and stupid as fuck, and just fucking cornballs. They fucking social misfits. Most of these motherfuckers social misfits. Straight up. All right, anyway. The Assistant Chief noted that they could send a complaint up the ranks. DeLunt told the commissioners that he once questioned an officer who came to him directly with a problem without going through the chain of command. Listen what this nigga said. He told the commissioners that he once questioned an officer. Once? Bitch, how many racial motherfucking incidents? But only one time that you see. I couldn't do it because you lying to me in my face like I'm fucking stupid. Being real, like I'd be like, all right, crack. See, I don't have the patience to talk to a motherfucker like this. I really don't have the fucking patience, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna reach out and touch your ass before I even motherfucking know I did it. For real, like I'll flip the fuck out, reach out and touch your punk ass before I even motherfucking know I did it. I mean, and then that's how they set your ass up anyway, because they know they can't beat you, so they be playing all these little racist ass, bitch ass games. All right, anyway, hold on. I'm going on a tangent. Let me stay on focus, stay on point. All right, so he once questioned an officer, for someone in the command structure to make these, that's what I'm saying. For someone in the command structure to make those type of statements goes to the heart of the situations, says Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality spokesman Ken Reed, referring to what he perceives as the department's unwillingness to acknowledge and address the racial issue it faces. It's not the type of attitude one should have. We expect more from people in leadership. But here's the problem. That's why his motherfucking ass in leadership. That's why he's in that position to keep that shit going, to set the standard. That's why Chief Craig ain't removing that motherfucker, and that's why they let Craig stay there that goddamn long, because they know this a nigga that's gonna let us get away with all our white supremacist shit. He ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing. He gonna keep drawing his little six figures and a little fucking notoriety, get a nigga a little bit of power and shit. He gonna let all that shit ride. That's why he shut down the core report. Now, because again, that nigga was, I know that nigga wasn't in the Black Panther Party or nothing when he was motherfucking young. I bet you that nigga been cooning forever, straight the fuck up. Because of real, when he's in a key position, a power position, and makes the core report, why would you dismiss this? Let the file be like this. Let this motherfucking report come out, and then whoever fall where it may. Because right now we gonna better this apartment for the people of the community. We're on the people's dime. The people are the ones who pays our salary, so we're in debt to them. They're our bosses. But no, not this talent motherfucker. This nigga on a power trip. In the comment section of news stories earlier this year, pressure mounted for the Chief Craig to release a report compiled by the Committee on Race and Equality. But look. After an officer called the citizens of Detroit garbage, so only after a white boy, see, shit rolls downhill. Their boss, who is Steve Dolan, he's spewing all this racial shit, and white people, he's saying this shit. So imagine the shit they not saying in front of your face. He got the motherfucking balls to say this shit in front of everybody. So imagine the shit that they not saying in your fucking face. Keeping it 100. All right. Now the only reason why they decided to do something about it is because when this little punk ass racist officer right here, an officer called the citizen of Detroit garbage. I remember that shit. But in the comment section of the news story, then that pressure mounted for Chief. See, all that motherfucker care about is image, his image. That's why I'm gonna get to that Sambo shit later. That's why he motherfucking crying with his feelings so hurt when he got the goddamn Sambo Award.
The so-called Sambo Awards were given out at a dinner hosted by the Call 'em Out Coalition, a controversial group with a leader who has a controversial past.
It wasn't just Chief Craig who received the award. DWSD Director Gary Brown also got one. Let's bring in Jermont Terry. Jermont, this is a largely African-American organization giving out an award that has a deeply racist connotation affixed to it.
Yes, Devin, and the objective of this group is to, quote, call people out, people who they believe are not advancing blacks in this city of Detroit. Now, this year, they decided to call out the chief of police, and he's firing right back.
Referring to someone as a Sambo is counterproductive, and I'm just not going to be quiet about it.
An upset Chief James Craig lashes back after a grassroots activist group gives him the unwanted honor of what's called the Sambo Award. The organization is led by Agnes Hitchcock. Hitchcock made news in the early 2000s for throwing grapes at a school board member as the board voted to shut down schools in Detroit. Last week, the coalition held a dinner where it deliberately presented awards of dishonor to Detroit public leaders. Chief Craig, this year's recipient.
It's hurtful, it's insensitive, someone who is a police chief for all people, and so it's not flattering.
The coalition said it felt the need to give the chief the title for his lack of diversity on the force.
We work extremely hard in this police department to recruit Detroiters, African Americans, and so we've done many things, but these same folks making these derogatory remarks haven't offered any assistance.
The chief not missing words, saying just because a black organization used the word Sambo, it doesn't make it less racist. Adding when 2 white officers were fired for a racially insensitive Snapchat post, blacks in the community called it racist, and the same applies here.
If it's not right for another race to refer to African Americans as a Sambo, what gives them the right and the pass to think that's okay?
Now, this is not the first year that the group handed out the so-called Sambo Awards, but it is the first that the chief was aware that he was on the list. He also adds that any city leader that has this dishonor placed upon their name should be just as outraged as he is today. Reporting live in downtown, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Motherfucker, yeah, you deserve the Sambo Award, cause this type shit, cause you don't stand for, you can't even stand for your people. Fuck that shit. And again, this ain't about blue, cause it's a color outside of blue. The color is white. They racist first, but then they draw the blue line second to protect that fucking racism. So you ain't drawing the lines of black. Like again, when a motherfucker do some racist shit, ostracize his motherfucking ass. Like I just seen a video where, and the police need to start doing this. Like if they like using measures like this, corrective actions like this, they have stopped motherfuckers shaming motherfuckers. I just seen a video where a police officer, he had a spouse abuse, like domestic violence. I guess he beat the shit out of his wife. They ain't even show her picture. But listen, they called that motherfucker in, questioned him, and they had ladies, like 2 lady detectives. They was questioning him, and they took his badge off, took his gun right there, and then the motherfucking commander cut his fucking shirt off of him. That's how you have to humiliate these fucking crackers. Put them motherfuckers on Front Street where they gonna be humiliated, bring their bullshit to light, cause cowards only prosper in the fucking dark. You don't know that by now? A fucking coward, a vampire. Put the light on that motherfucker, you gonna destroy and kill him like a fucking vampire. That's the fucking problem. But you gotta have balls to be able to do that on the real. So the only thing again that made Chief Craig want to even motherfucking deal with this issue is because the community started going ham in the comment section of this shit. And then he released a report compiled by the Committee on Race and Equality, the core report. He impaneled last year. The group chaired by a white officer and a black officer was tasked with looking into racial problems in the department following a Facebook post by officers that suggested the KKK headlined the Super Bowl halftime show. See, I can go on and on. I could be here all motherfucking day if I drew up all of the racist ass shit that this DPD, these punk ass little fucking white cops be pulling this shit. Oh, I'm gonna deal with the prosecutor motherfucking next. That's next. That's another story. But I'm gonna stick with this one first. All right. Core report found top-down entrenched discrimination practices within the department that left many officers uncomfortable and unwilling to use the chain of command to report to their complaints. Pause right there. Pause fucking right there. Let me read that again. Core found top-down entrenched discriminatory practices within the department that left many officers uncomfortable and unwilling to use the chain of command to report their complaints. Now let me tell you what the fuck that means. That means that if they brought this shit to their chain of command, which is right fucking racist, if they brought it up again, they were being treated racist by other officers, then what was going to have, they're going to be singled out and fucked with for them bringing racial issues that they're going through to their white racist ass fucking commanders. That's why they're uncomfortable and unwilling to use the chain of command to report their complaints. Really, they need some shit like this. See, if they really want to do some shit, they'll do some shit like I seen in Canada when them niggas threw me in immigration holding, and I used the fuck out of that shit. Cause I was like, I wasn't guilty of shit, right? Y'all trying to hold me and break me, make me catch a charge after I wrote some real shit, the true catalysm of Canadian society, detailing the racial and judicial injustice of minorities, right? So the motherfuckers came at me heavy, real fucking heavy, on some murder game shit. And I thought I knew what I was talking about, being real. Them motherfuckers showed me like, motherfucker, I was just scratching the surface on how fucking racist that goddamn country was and shit. But what I utilized in there was this, it was a blue letter. It was like, you can ask for, what was this shit called? It was a sealed envelope that was blue that you could write a complaint if you have a complaint against an officer or a CO, and then your identity and everything is hidden within that. And once you seal it, they can't open it, and it goes right to the investigative division that investigate the police inside the jails and the prison systems in Canada. So when I found out that shit, I was like, what? And I found that shit out by a Hell's Angel biker, like the head one that was in Canada and shit. This was in like Toronto, right? So like I was kicking it with him, and he was like, damn, you be doing the same thing I'm doing. But like, yeah, that motherfucker, he was going there. Like, I was fucking with the police writing shit outside. This motherfucker with him and the Hells Angels will go to the goddamn police departments in Canada and be fucking with the police, like bringing it to him and shit. So they came to that nigga house with the beams and the whole nine. So he was like, damn, you be doing the same thing. I was like, yeah, nigga, but I wasn't running up in no motherfucking precinct. Fuck all that, right? I was like, I got sense enough to know, don't run up in a motherfucking precinct. Like, bitch, you gotta come get me. Catch me like the gingerbread man. I ain't gonna make it easy. You gonna respect this motherfucking hunt. But anyway, all right, like, so look. Within the department that left many officers uncomfortable and unwilling to use. Right. So say should be implementing that in there as well. Because you do that, you had that little blue envelope and shit that gets sealed. Like boom boom. As soon as you write it, it gets sealed and it goes to the investigative part. Like it should be like the Attorney General. It shouldn't. Matter of fact, it shouldn't be handled by Michigan State Police. It shouldn't be handled by none of them motherfuckers. Matter of fact, fuck that. It should go federal. It should be a federal complaint form that you do to take it out their motherfucking hands, because all the state gonna do is protect their motherfucking agency. Put that shit in federal hands, then we'll see some prosecution on the motherfucking way. We will see some get right and some real corrective action. If they was really trying to change the racial structure of DPD. But we know they not. All right. It is also determined many officers were dissatisfied with the department equal opportunity office. Bam, right there. What the fuck I just say? It is also determined because why? Because that's the code. Because there's crackers in there. This is what you dealing with. This is the dumb shit. The police, the DPD been racist. They got a history of racism. So they put their key racist motherfuckers in key areas to hide this shit and to protect the system. Example is by putting what's this motherfucking officer name that shot that little girl, the little white racist fucking officer, by putting him on a court report with this other officer Jenkins, right there, because you know he gonna go tell what real talk. Who the fuck, like, if I got a problem with a white motherfucker and you got the court report where you got these two investigative police officers that's supposed to be taking my statement and shit, you think I'm going to tell what's going on with me and a racist ass motherfucking white police officer to a motherfucking white police officer that they put in charge that blew a black girl fucking head off? Are you, how fucking insane are these motherfuckers? A fucking idiot can see how this shit is set up. All right, anyway. When the court report was released last week, Craig characterized its findings as based on rumor and innuendo. This motherfucker always deflecting like a fucking white boy. For real. That's why he got the fucking Sambo Award. Rumor and innuendo. Ain't no fucking rumor. Everybody know how racist the goddamn DPD department is. In part because many of the officers who levied accusation or discrimination went unnamed. You goddamn right, because they know as soon as they put their name on it, they're going to be ostracized and fucking punished. They smart. What the fuck you need? Why is it rumor in the window? Who the fuck in their right mind when you putting fucking killer cops that kill black people on a goddamn court report? Who the fuck in their right mind that got any sense, using logical sense, gonna put their name on some shit like that? They putting a target on their back and probably their goddamn family back. All right, the police union also cast doubt on the committee's finding and on Martin Luther King Day called on Craig to disband court. On Tuesday, the chief obliged in part. Craig said he would put the committee on hold. Look at this shit right here. And on Martin Luther King Day, called on Craig. They did it on, look, this ain't showing you the power. This why this nigga got the Sambo Award. The police union casted out the committee findings, and on Martin Luther King Day to be like, fuck you niggas, called on Craig to disband court. And what that nigga do on a Tuesday, he did it. So on Martin Luther King birthday, these niggas put pressure on this nigga neck, called on this nigga to disband court, and this nigga folded, and he fucking did. This nigga ain't got no fucking backbone at fucking all. Craig said he would.
Stephen, the DPOA's stance against the report and its contents puts the union at odds with Detroit Police Chief James Craig. It was Craig who created this committee in an effort to promote transparency within the department.
The creation of a document by a former committee co-chair, not based on fact, yet implies racist practices within the Detroit Police Department, is not only reckless, but obviously and deliberately an attempt to deteriorate the great relationship our police officers and our police department have worked to harbor with our citizenry.
DPOA President Mark Diaz went on to call the report a betrayal. The Committee on Race and Equality released the document last week, but Chief Craig, too, disputed the findings. The chief was not available today, but this is what he said about the report and issue on Thursday.
Like any place in America, there are those who have implicit bias. To say that it's growing, what does that mean? One of the criticisms I have of the report, it is not an investigative report where we have detailed statements from individuals interviewed.
If the allegations are fact-based, this association is going to deal with that and deal with it swiftly. We don't have complaints to that nature, nor do we have anything factually stating or proving that, in fact, we had racist practices within our department. But should we? Should that come to be the case, we will deal with it.
Diaz says the DPOA wants to see the committee dissolved, and if they get pushback from Chief Craig on this, they'll go the grievance route in order to protect their rights. Now, for his part, Chief Craig says he plans to address this issue and the response from the DPOA tomorrow. For now, we're live in downtown Detroit. Dave Llewellyn, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Dave.
Put the committee on hold with the goal of restructuring it. Restructuring it how, motherfucker? What you gonna put? The fucking Grand Wizard on this motherfucker? You already had a fucking serial killing ghost skin cracker on a motherfucker. What's next? Huh? What you gonna do next? How you gonna restructure it? Fuck out of here. But what Corey represents would move forward. Some members of the Board of Police Commissioners are dismayed by the chief's handling of the situation, and they see Dolan as a further indication of Craig's willingness to look the other way on issues of race. Fuck yeah. See, look, well, I'm trying not to cuss because of this YouTube algorithm and shit, but I can't help it. Again, some shit it just you cannot articulate, and yes, with the pure emotion and the gravity that you need to do it without using some profanity. This English language is bastardized. Shit, you can't really express yourself with it. So that's why I got to use profanity. And anybody that need to use that for a reason for them using profanity, you go ahead and run with that one. All right, said Board of Police Commissioners Vice Chairperson Ricardo Moore. I look at the chief for allowing him to exist. Right. Yeah, hold on. All right, next one. All right, what is this one? Hold on. Let me unlock it here. All right, Racial Committee co-chair blasts Detroit Police Chief for undermining reports of bias. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga right here. Oh, I can't wait. You see her? I think that's the one that got hired in motherfucking Texas that did a whole bunch of fuck shit. Hold on. Let me just stick on Craig because I'm gonna get her ass. Because she went down there on Texas and just was doing all kind of shit. Look, I'll give you one story what this bitch did. They made her the chief of police in Texas, and remember when that white boy, this black girl, I guess because she didn't get out of the parking place wild enough or fast enough or whatever, so she arguing with the white dude, and the white dude was such a bitch. He was putting her hand in the black woman's face, and she smacked his hand out of his face, and then he pushed her, so she punched the nigga, and a motherfucker pulled a gun on her. So they ain't charged the white boy. They ain't charged the white boy with shit, and this bitch charged the black girl with something. I swear, yeah, I'll get there. I'll get to the remember. I'm putting it on here so I can remember this story. And I don't get me started with the Amber Guyver, but I'm like, I don't know what it is. If it's cooning in a goddamn water supply in Detroit, I don't know what the fuck did happen. But it's some big time fucking super cooning going on in Detroit. All right, let me deal with this. Detroit Police Chief Craig is undermining the findings of a committee he set up last year to look into racial issues in the department following a racial insensitive social media post by a white officer. See, this is what I hate. This is what the fuck I hate. Name them motherfuckers. They public service. Taxpayers, we pay their motherfucking salary. How the fuck are you gonna be again? Hold up. Let me show you how fucking two-faced this motherfucker is and hypocritical this motherfucker is. He gonna say something. He gonna say something about black officers hiding their identity and remaining anonymous, but don't say shit about these white boys being like, again, when they say some racial insensitive shit, this ain't no speculation. We ain't speculating if the motherfucker a race soldier. We have evident proof out they fucking mouth, but he hide their fucking identity. He don't say shit about that, but he got something to say about police officer, talking about his rumor and innuendo when a black police officer doesn't put his name on a fucking statement because he knows what's gonna happen. But he ain't saying shit about these goddamn race soldiers, ghost skin ass motherfucking serial killing mercenary fucking race soldiers he got on the fucking force. When they don't put their name after they do some racist ass shit, that should be the fucking protocol. You do some racial ass shit. Matter of fact, every time a nigga do some shit, they plaster they goddamn name all over the motherfucking news. Chief Craig be talking mad shit, calling them Keystone Cops, all kind of shit. But they name be all out there. As soon as a motherfucking white boy do some shit, it's like this. And since it's a social media post by a white officer, fuck that. Name that motherfucker. This ain't no private organization. It's public. The department, according to Craig, does not suffer from a growing race problem. Listen, this nigga is so delusional, he fucking out of touch. No, my bad. He's just a cracker. He a blackface white supremacist. So what should I expect? What the fuck should I expect him to say? Does not suffer from a growing race problem despite the determination of an internal report by the Committee on Race and Equality. It was released this week following a series of Freedom of Information Act requests by local media. Someone, the chief said, had to close the report existence following the recent controversy over a city police officer who called Detroiters garbage in the comment section of a news story. The Committee on Race and Equality Corps was headed by two officers. All right, here we go. Listen to this shit. Remember, who put this shit together? He did. The Committee of Race and Equality Corps was headed by two officers, John Bennett and Joseph Weekley. Bennett is black, and Weekley, who name you may recognize because he's the officer who killed Aiyana Stanley-Jones. So how the fuck you put this... Yo. I gotta look at any motherfucking police officer, but I know you gotta feed your family. I know. I can go so hard because my stepmom was a Detroit police officer when she was active. I stayed with her for like 2 years until she retired, and she'd take me down to 7th Precinct all the time and shit where they set that up. Cause I was getting my ass beat like a motherfucker when I was little. Half of the time I deserve it because I was bad as fuck, checking niggas in, robbing. I was doing all kind of shit. I was fucking wilding them motherfuckers. So half of the time I deserved to get my ass beat. I ain't gonna lie, but other half of the time they was just beating on niggas for real, just doing shit. Yeah, just beating on me. But anyway, but what I did know, now here's my problem. When they talking about police training, here's what I know. Once they know you and shit, I was cool with them. Like keeping it 100. They used to come to the motherfucking house and shit, play cards. So I got to see him. Then I would go to her job with her and shit. Like time for her to get her check or just go kick it with her and shit. But I ain't know then because I was little. But they were just trying to show me don't hate police because they knew I used to get my ass beat 3 or 4 years before I came to live with her and shit. So they already knew. So what I met was this. So I learned the difference between what the fuck was real police and these other motherfuckers. Now I know real police, which is peace officers who instill peace, not antagonizers, not these goddamn serial killing motherfucking race soldiers. So that's what they need to get to. Like I be asking them, anytime I have interaction with a goddamn police officer, I ask them off rip before I give my name. Are you a peace officer? Because let me know, motherfucker, if you ain't a peace officer, you working as a mercenary. Because then I know how to get at you accordingly. If I know I'm dealing with a mercenary, nigga, all right, we ain't got no conversation, nigga. Let's get down to the get down. But you coming on some peace officer, doing your job, all right, we can have a conversation. All right, you may recognize because he's officer. Yeah. All right. Over the course of 8 months, about 15 officers assigned to Corps held bi-weekly meetings and paid. See, right there, I couldn't even did it. I couldn't even fucking do it. First off, and this is what I mean. I got to take a pause here again. And this is why we infected with fucking crackatosis, and we wicked. We fucking wicked right now. Because look, how the fuck can you know that what this man did by shooting this black girl in the head and then lying? Now this what got me fucked up. than lying, because I remember he said that the mama, now listen how dirty these motherfuckers are. He said the he said the grandmama hit his arm. Now listen to this fuck shit. He said the grandmama hit his arm, and that's what made him shoot the little girl in the head. Nah, nigga. You out your... So, hitting a motherfucking center mass like that in the fucking forehead takes precision shooting. Ain't no motherfucker but this how demonic and diabolical. He gonna blame it on a goddamn grandmama. Every time I watch that video, that shit fuck with my soul. It be tearing my soul out. It's two videos that be fucking me up the most that I watch when I watch police brutality on black people. It's the one Aiyana Stanley-Jones with her grandmama on that goddamn stand, looking at him and asking him, why did you do that? Why did you have to do that? That one, and Miss Best, who in Virginia, the Virginia police, and she was her daughter was a Navy veteran, and they set her boyfriend up on some murder shit, nigga. You gotta just go on my Facebook, Make It Plain TV, if you want to view that story. Both of those stories there and the videos of both of those women there, because I always keep those at the forefront to stay motivated on getting at these motherfucking necks, boots on their neck.
This channel is dedicated to benefiting you by educating you through enhanced digital technology for social, cultural, and political, economical development by using social commentary on social issues, real-life events, or news story. If you like, please share and subscribe to Real Detroit TV.
But that story was, they was monitoring her boyfriend on some shit, talking about he buying guns, just some fuck shit. But they was coming at this nigga like with a specialized unit and shit. So they tracked him for like 2 states, from DC to Virginia or whatever. Now, they stopped in the gas station and they were just sitting in the car. The police just ran up on the car, nigga, and blew the car down. I mean, it wasn't no like get out the car, nothing. They Swiss cheesed the fucking car. And what happened, so she got killed, he got killed, and the only one that made it out was the baby in the back. So it was a straight up motherfucking murder, a fucking assassination, a kill gang down. Cause you know these motherfuckers cowardly as fuck. It was like about 8 fucking white cops with the goddamn military gear on. You know they be doing too much, giving these old fucking low IQ, goofy ass, no power, little dick ass motherfuckers guns and shit. So the first they want to do, they want to kill something black and shit. For real. But it was the sickest shit that I've seen. But the pain that her mom in that motherfucking video, and it was deep, because she was like, we did everything right. I did everything right. Now think about that shit. Think about this. You did everything right for your baby. Raise your baby right in this fucked up ass demonic hell we live in, this white supremacy, this this system of fucking injustice. You do everything right to make sure your baby right. And she's so good that she go in the Navy, become decorated, and then get killed out on these goddamn streets with her boyfriend because you got some white serial killing ghost skin fucking police officers on some kill shit. All right, over the course of 8 months, all right, let me get back to the story and shit, so I get lost in there. I know I'm jumping over it, so I'll edit this later, or maybe I'm not. Just put it out here. Over the course of 8 months, about 15 officers assigned to Corps held bi-weekly meetings. No, pause. So knowing that and seeing that, how the fuck could you even like sit there and even talk to this motherfucker knowing that he lied? You know you a police officer, motherfucker. You know how many times you train with that goddamn weapon to hit them goddamn targets. You know what's an accident and what's not. You can fool the public with that bullshit because motherfuckers so dumb. But you an officer doing live weapon fucking training. You know what's accurate and precise fucking shooting. So when you can sit there and kiki and kaha and call this nigga a co-worker and shit, shake this motherfucking cracker hand, nigga, you fucking demonic just like this motherfucker. Straight up. And that's what's wrong with us. That's what the fuck was wrong with us. Because they force you to intermingle with the fucking devil. They force you to intermingle with the fucking demonic demon. That's why we've become so fucking wicked. Alright, anyway, bi-weekly meetings and paid dozens of visits to police precincts to interview officers and gather their sentiments on the racial issues facing the department. They heard complaints over elite units that were overwhelmingly staffed by whites. Boom, there you go. Here we go again. They heard complaints over elite units that were overwhelmingly staffed by whites in the department, which is about 2/3 officers are black. African-American officers who saw bias in the process of appointments in turn faced retaliation by white command officers. Did I not tell you? See, they let niggas hold illusions of power positions, but they ain't got no real motherfucking power. The report described top-down entrenched discriminatory practices that trickled from command officers to the rank and file. But on Thursday afternoon, a news conference timed to follow the release of the damning report, Craig downplayed the allegations. A lot of what Core uncovered was based on rumor, said Craig, sitting at a table flanked by the usual set of command officers. Crackers. I'm going to tell you, crackers. All right. Core co-chair officer Weekley pointed out that he found nothing of substance, said the chief. Y'all, right there. What the fuck? What? I don't even know if I can get through this guy. I don't even know if I can finish reading this goddamn article. Sitting at the, I'm gonna read this shit again so it can hit you. Cause I know a lot of y'all slow. I know a lot of y'all slow and shit. A lot of what Core uncovered was based on rumor, said Craig, sitting at a table flanked by the usual set of command officers. Core co-chair officer Weekley pointed out that he found nothing of substance, said the chief. How fucking sick is this nigga? He needed more than a Sam. Matter of fact, fuck, he mad because he got the Sambo Award. I'm gonna make it my motherfucking mission to come up, since I know that shit got up under his skin, to come up with something that's gonna go fucking global, that's gonna really hurt his motherfucking ass. If that hurt his feelings, because this nigga on some, I gotta sit here and ponder his position and actually how much of a fucking race trading ass nigga this nigga is. Absent from the news conference and hardly mentioned in Craig's statements was Weekley's black counterpart. Wow! You hear this shit? Absent, but that's by design. Best believe that shit by design. Did I already not tell you? I ain't even gotta be. Did I already not tell you what the fuck was going on? Absent from the news conference and hardly mentioned in Craig's statement was Weekley Black's counterpart, recently retired co-chair Bennet. You know why? Because he wrote that real shit. You know why? Because real black police officer was telling them what really going on. So they blacked all that shit out the fucking report. Guarantee you that shit. Guarantee you that shit. For him, for that white boy that killed that motherfucking black girl, Weekley, that motherfucking racist ass, fucking redneck, inferior ass, fucking pale skin, milkweed ass, fucking mayo sandwich eating ass cracker sitting across from him was Weekley back. Oh, anyway, so naturally Metro So naturally Metro Times decided to solicit Bennett's thoughts on the chief's response to his months-long effort. All right, so now this talking to Bennett, the black one that's notably wasn't there, right? And they just like, again, so and all of his shit is, before I even finish reading this shit, I'm gonna tell you, he probably gonna tell you all of his shit got buried. All his work, that what he investigated and all the information that he took, the statements that he made, that shit was buried. Guarantee you. All right. So naturally, the Metro Times decided to solicit Bennett's thoughts on the chief's response to his months-long effort. The idea of this being rumor and innuendo is offensive, said Bennett. See, that's that. See right there, that's that field nigga. See, that's a field nigga right there. He ain't having it. See, that's why he ain't there. See, that's why he wasn't there. Who noted that Craig once visited a precinct. Oh, listen to this shit. Noted that Craig once visited a precinct as a fight broke out between a black officer and a white officer. It's just another example of the chief's disingenuous behavior, the lack of sincerity on his part, and the dishonesty. Lying ass Sambo fucking nigga. All right, Bennett told Metro Times that in August, as Core completed his report and got set to issue 19 recommendations for alleviating racial tensions in the department, Craig in fact suggested disbanding Core. Oh, so look, pause. Nigga, Sambo Craig, Sambo Hollywood Craig, you motherfucking, You devised the core, the core for them to tell you about, to investigate what was happening, and then to give you some form of corrective actions and recommendations to combat the racial tensions in the department. But because it didn't come to your liking, because it revealed too much fucking truth, you fucking Sambo, you disbanded it. Remember when again, just like a good nigga, just like boss told you, like master told you to do on Martin Luther King holiday, nigga, you disbanded it, nigga. And then to show emphasis, to show how much power they got over your nigga ass, they told you to do it, nigga, on Martin Luther King motherfucking birthday, nigga. They ain't wait the day before, the day after, a week after. That was by design, nigga, to let you know your place. You ain't got no power, nigga. Around here motherfucking flexing and acting like you got fucking power. You only got power over niggas. That's what they telling you. You only got power over niggas. Just like all these goddamn work plantations. All these niggas in charge ain't charge of nothing but fucking niggas. That's it. Try to do something to somebody white. Try to do something to one of these goddamn new arrivals. Your nigga ass will be out of there and they'll put another motherfucking boot-licking, Sambo ass, butter biscuit eating nigga in your fucking place. Guaranteed. You know that shit. All right, on Thursday, however, Craig said that he would keep the racial fact-finding body intact and even add to his 47 members. Don't nobody want to join that shit, nigga. Shit. Again, when they see what you did to Officer Bennett, and you hid and buried all this shit, who the fuck in their right mind, unless they a bootlicking nigga, ain't gonna join it because they know they gonna move on up, showing that they a bootlicking that motherfucking agreeable. I'm sorry, hold up. Maybe I'm cussing too much for y'all, so let me use another term. To show that you're an agreeable Negro. You're a highly agreeable Negro. Fact-finding was a term heavily emphasized by the chief as he described what CORE was set up to do. He repeatedly noted that the committee was not intended to investigate and that because many interviewees remained unnamed, wouldn't be due process to go after the higher-ranking officers named in their complaints. But Bennett insists Craig has the power to make the changes needed to mitigate the racial problems plaguing the force. No, that nigga don't. He ain't got no backbone. He ain't got no fucking nuts, Bennett. Come on, man. This nigga ain't got no nuts. He ain't got an illusion of power. He know the first move he make on any one of them white motherfucking commanders, he out of there. It's a wrap, nigga. You know this old nigga, he want to work it. He want, it ain't like he grooming it. He ain't like he grooming a black motherfucker. Because, all right, here's what he supposed to did. If he was on some real shit, as soon as he came to Detroit, he'd start chopping them niggas down. All them motherfuckers in key position, all them racist ass, suspect, ghost skin fucking race soldiers, he'd start getting them niggas out of power. He'd start chopping their power down and empowering black officers. He ain't do that shit. He's just not sincere when it comes to addressing issues on race, said Bennett. I wonder why. We need, you know what? I need to become, fuck all this. I'm about to become an investigative reporter, being real. We need to investigate why he's such a bootlicking ass nigga. What the fuck was going on? What happened to the nigga here in Detroit? We need to really investigate this nigga's story. Straight the fuck up. Who is Chief Craig? Chief Hollywood motherfucker Craig. Why is this nigga from the civil rights area such a bootlicking ass nigga when he has a position to make change and enforce change and a nigga too scared to do it? Indeed, Craig's track record in dealing with such issues appears less than stellar. Though he created a committee to look into race following the fallout over a sergeant's inflammatory post about Beyonce's Super Bowl halftime show last year, not much happened to the sergeant. See, the only reason why he did that shit, because they know Beyonce, they know motherfuckers weren't gonna be coming here to come in the Ford Stadium and all that type shit. They had like black entertainers and shit was like, no, y'all niggas racist. I'm not fucking coming there. One of your racist ass cop might shoot me and kill me. So that was just smoke and mirrors for, let's say, tourism from entertainers. That's all he did that shit. That's all he did it for. The officer was initially moved from his precinct for just an include. Look at this shit. That's all. This nigga supposed to be fired. Fired. His jacket His jacket supposed to be hemmed the fuck up with this shit wrote it in there. But no, this is what they let. The officer was initially moved from his precinct for suggesting the Ku Klux Klan should be allowed to headline the event in the future. But his LinkedIn page shows he was reinstated not long after. Wow. See, this is what we doing in Detroit here. This is what we doing here. These motherfucking race soldier crackers can make racist fucking statements, make threats towards black, and don't nothing happen to them. Nothing. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Nathan Weekley, Corps co-chair, Joseph Weekley's brother, was demoted over the summer for calling Black Lives Matter supporters terrorists. But a document obtained by Metro Times showed that Weekley has since been reappointed as detective. You hear this shit? You hear this shit? That's the motherfucking, that's the brother of the motherfucker that shot that little 8-year-old girl in her motherfucking head. That's a family of motherfucking serial killing crackers. Still on the force. Put in key position. They probably make, you know what? They probably make one of these motherfucking chief of police next. That's what's gonna happen. One of these motherfucking Weekley brothers, they gonna reward these niggas with being chief of motherfucking police. That's how sick, that's how motherfucking fucked up and twisted Detroit is. The policing aspect of Detroit society. The chief on Thursday suggested he would have suspended without pay the officer at the center of the latest such scandal. But Officer Daniel Wolf, who said Detroit cops have to police the garbage, but don't have to live in the garbage, managed to retire first. Hold up, what did I just say? What did I say? Listen to what this fucking cop say. Detroit cops have to police the garbage, but don't have to live in the garbage. See, that's what I said. Your policing aspect, the police should reflect the society that they are policing. So when you allow these old racist ass redneck motherfuckers from the suburbs, see the problem. See, I have a third's eye view on this shit because I was born in Mount Clemens, from the motherfucking suburbs. Being real. So I know how these motherfuckers call, like, because the officers out there, they just as motherfucking racist, they got something called NOG. They call it nigga, like when they see a black nigga coming down Gratiot, past 8 Mile nigga, they call him NOG, nigga on Gratiot, and you getting pulled the fuck over, straight the fuck up. So all these policing agencies is racist as fuck. If you don't address it, these things are going to keep occurring. He know that shit. He don't give a fuck about niggas. That's what Chief Craig don't give a fuck about niggas. He think he white. He think he an honorary motherfucking white supremacist. That's what's wrong with this old beige ass, boule ass nigga. Craig said he had acted on some of the insights provided by Corps. A program has been set up, he says, to allow officers to have a chance to work better assignments. Fuck out of here. There's more racial and gender diversity at the command level. Now, see, gender. See, here's the problem. He don't give a fuck about the racial issues, but I guarantee you, if a motherfucker called a gay cop or a stud cop out their motherfucking name or something, he'd be all over that shit. He'll be just like that. I'm gonna get to that bitch next, Kim Unworthy. He'll be all over that shit. Notice how I put racial and gender diversity on the same. It's separate, motherfucker. It's separate. There should be no combining the two. Racial is a different issue, and gender is a fucking gender inequality is a different issue. There should not be no combining it. You fucking twisted ass cracker. Let me just call him a fucking cracker. He ain't even black. This nigga ain't black. Matter of fact, this is why I had to say to Canadians and shit. Because I met a lot of niggas like this motherfucker right here. And they don't give a fuck if you call. Well, he got his feelings hurt because it went national that he got his Sambo. What you got to say to hurt this nigga, this is what I say to motherfuckers like this. The only thing black about you, nigga, is your skin. That's it. Ain't shit else black about you but your fucking skin. All right, the department is apparently looking into making changes to the Equality Opportunity Office. And entity officers who spoke to Corps had taken issue with. And Craig touted increased gender diversity. And see, look at this shit. Motherfuckers separate the issues. And Craig touted increased gender diversity in the department special response team, adding that the department often exceeds the national average when it comes to diversity in staffing. This nigga right here. But Bennett says Craig hasn't gone far enough, especially because throughout the process he promised that whatever recommendations we made would be put in place. Core's recommendations include cultural diversity training. That's just a joke. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You know what? You want recommendations? They gotta live here. You want to be a police officer in Detroit? Motherfucker, you gotta live in this Detroit city lines. Right there. So you don't need no cultural diversity training because you living with us now, motherfucker. Right. So you're going to have to identify with it because you live right here with us. Without that, is that cultural diversity training, and I'm telling you from the fucking military, for me having to write up fucking white boys and assigning motherfuckers to these training classes. They don't care. That shit's a joke to them. Easier access to training opportunities, more events to unify the force, and for the committee to become permanent. Fuck off. All that's all smoke and mirrors bullshit. No. Thing is, getting rid of them old ass racist motherfuckers, get rid of them. Matter of fact, here's a recommendation. Zero policy for racist actions. How about that? If you had a zero fucking policy, ain't no, soon as you do something racist, your ass you suspend it without pay. Ain't no, oh, we gonna investigate it. Nah, nigga. Soon as you do something racist, you suspend it. I bet you that. See, the only thing a racist care about is their motherfucking money. Fuck with their money, they get right real fast. Real motherfucking fast. That's the only thing that they don't give a fuck about no cultural diversity training. They don't care about none of that shit. Hit them in the fucking pocket. Oh, they get right. But Bennett says, most importantly, the department has to start making examples when what I just say? The department has to start making examples when racial problems arise. You have to be very public and very transparent so officers know this won't be tolerated. Bam! I like Bennett. See, Bennett was on that real shit. That's why they ain't had that motherfucker there. That's why he too logical with intelligence. He ain't no bootlicking ass nigga. He got fucking nuts. Nuts with intelligence though. Nuts with intelligence. That's why I ain't had it. See, right there. Matter of fact, he put that shit more eloquent than I did. He said you have to be very public and very transparent so officers know. No, I said demean them motherfuckers. I'm on some nigga shit. Demean them motherfuckers. Drag they bitch, look, skull drag they bitch ass. That's what you do. But I'm like, again, cut their motherfucking uniform off. Be like, I'm telling look, ain't no motherfucking way I could have became a police officer. A motherfucker would have said some risky because they're like white cops white people in general because they try to see what type of nigga you is. So they'll be saying some little sly ass motherfucking racist shit. Nigga, I'd have carried black paint and I'd have threw black paint in one of them motherfuckers' face. I'll be on some other shit, being real. Like, bitch, and two, we both got guns. Oh, nigga, I want you to do something. I'm gonna beat your ass, and as soon as you try to motherfucker pull your gun, nigga, this wild, wild west. Let's meet at sun up, nigga. Sundown, sunset. How you want to meet? How you want to do it? All right, anyway. Otherwise, he says, you create a greater divide. Those white officers now feel emboldened that they have the chief's support. Of course they do. That's they nigga. That's they nigga. I think I'm going to read one more.
50,000 watts. A pure attitude.
The president of the Call 'Em Out Coalition appearing on the Riddle at Random radio show, responding to outcry from Detroit's police chief James Craig and DWSD director Gary Brown after the coalition presented them with its recent Sambo Award.
A Sambo is a Negro who served the interests of his oppressor over the interests of his own people.
The Sambo Awards were given out last week at a dinner to honor former Detroit Mayor Coleman Young.
Mayor Young left the city of Detroit, left office. The police department was 95% black. Today, the chief is lording over a 55% black police department.
During a press conference on Monday, Chief Craig addressed the criticism.
Many African Americans don't want to be police officers. So we go through great pain to try to encourage, embrace. We certainly do a lot in the African American community in terms of recruitment.
If you can't find black police officers, you're a Sambo. If you turn black people's water off in the city of Detroit, you're a Sambo.
Activist and radio host Sam Riddle was also present for last week's awards dinner.
Unapologetically, I was proud to MC the Sambo Awards to give light to the rampant racism and wealth inequality that's so prevalent in Detroit.
The Call 'Em Out Coalition says it will not apologize for giving out the award, but it is asking the recipients to do this. Agnes Hitchcock made this request of Chief Craig live on the radio.
Meet me on Woodward and Pingree this Thursday at 6 p.m.
Wait a minute, you calling out the Detroit police chief? What are you saying?
I'm telling him that he wants an apology. We need to have a discussion. Bring the whole 150 nominees for the Sambo dinner. Bring the mayor, Mayor Duggan. Bring Gary Brown.
Brown's office says he's declining that invite, but the coalition wants that discussion to not only address officer recruitment and water shutoffs, but poverty in the city of Detroit. In Southfield, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
I think I'm gonna read one more. Let me see how long this one is. I supposed to did short. This is supposed to be a short version. I done fucking been going for how long? All right. Organization. City needs to address racism inside Detroit Police Department. Coalition Against Police Brutality delivers report. Detroit. A local organization claims racism in the Detroit Police Department is as much more widespread than just one isolated precinct. Yeah, see, that's a little smoke and mirrors deflection shit that they be trying to pull. Which I'm gonna deal with it too on that green light shit too, with him and a lying ass goddamn mayor as well. But here's what they do. They try to blame that shit on one precinct, the 6th precinct. If you don't get the fuck out here with that low IQ, low intelligence shit, but see, they can get away with it. You know why? They can get away with it. And I'll link another video to this video that's going to explain to why. Because I know y'all like, well, how the fuck are they able to get away with it with all these black people living there? How? Well, most of y'all don't know, but Detroit has a literacy rate, like, what is it, 47%? So a lot of motherfuckers just dumb. And then scary, too. Like, dumb and scary. So it's fucked up, but it is. Like, and we got to deal with it, though. I mean, we really got to deal with it. And like, so illiteracy is this. If you're illiterate, you got to go in and write a report. Say, so a police officer does some mixed conduct or whatever to you. So you got to go in and you got to fill out a report. If you don't know how to read and write, how the fuck you going to fill out a report? Huh? You feel me? As a matter of fact, I got another recommendation on that shit. Since we know that the population is mostly illiterate, and that's how they was able to steal their houses and shit, all that shit. And believe me, I'm not blaming my people. Anything wrong with black people, for me, I want y'all to understand this shit. Anything that's wrong with black people is white people's fault. We live in a white supremacist motherfucking system. So we ain't got no power. So everybody that's dumb and illiterate, I don't give a fuck if niggas cops stealing. White people made them do that shit. That's how I feel about that shit. You can't tell me nothing. They set up the circumstances and the conditions for all this shit. And okay, I already did a video about the lack of education and inequality in the educational system here, as when I'm taking the same test that I took in when I was going to Redford. I was in 10th grade. I had honor science, honor English. I probably had, but because that's the only thing I cared about. I ain't give a fuck about nothing else really. But I like English because I love to read, and science. And I'm taking the fucking test in my honor science, and I'm like, yo. I said, I'm on the west side. I wasn't even on the east side. I'm on the west side. Redford High, right? Supposed to have been better, way better and shit. So I get to the 12th question. I'm like, man, I fucking took this test. So I'm like, yo, I fucking took this test. So I go up to the teacher. I was like, nah. I was like, yo, I took this test before. No, you didn't. Sit your ass down. So I was like, all right, that's how they talk to you. Motherfucker, most of the black fucking females, they have a fucking attitude because they be conditioned as well. They don't give a fuck. Most of them don't give a fuck. That's why, again, the kids be fucking stupid, because most of them, they just give up because the system is just so overwhelmingly. They just stop fucking caring. They may come in caring, but after a while, being subjugated under that goddamn system, you become desensitized. You just stop giving a fuck. Same way as in a foster care, the group home system. It's all the same. So she was like, sit your ass down. So I was like, all right. So I got to the 20th question, and I was like, I'm racking my brain like, yo, where the fuck did I take this test? So I'm sitting there, so where the fuck did I take this test? And it fucked me up, because then I was Muslim then, right? So I'm like, you know, I'm getting the knowledge. I'm getting the knowledge like a motherfucker, right? So I'm already had read like, what was it, the one book where they detailing like all the lynchings in America and shit, like, yeah, so that book, I can't remember the name of it and shit like that. So I'm already getting the knowledge, so, you know, and then like reading about Malcolm X and shit. So I'm like, damn, because, you know, I was a youngin', I'm like, yo, why we fucked up? Like, why my family fucked up? So I was like, so after like going through, I was like, oh, no, it just ain't my family, man. They got us all fucked up. So I started, you know, having knowledge and shit. But it like, so that shit woke me up. But ain't nothing woke me up more than that shit. That right there let me know, like, yo, I gotta get on my shit for real. This as a youngin', because once you experiencing what real racism is and placism, see, motherfuckers, I say placism. A lot of y'all don't understand what placism mean. Go look it up. I ain't gonna give you the definition of placism, because I want you to retain this shit. But when I start understanding what placism was and shit. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it fucked me up, experiencing and seeing that shit to let me know, like, how the fuck I'm in the 10th grade honors class and I'm taking a goddamn test that I took in the 7th grade, and listen, this is a fucking country ass, rural, redneck fucking town, Marlette, Michigan. I'm the only goddamn black, fuck the school, in the whole goddamn town, Marlette. Then, this is like early 80s and shit. There was some new shit like Teen Ranch, cause I started a riot at one group home and shit, cause niggas was like stumping out, beating up my brother and shit. So like mashed on them niggas. So they got me the fuck up out of here. But now that when I got older, I figured out what they was trying to do. They was trying to break me by sending me with nothing but fucking crackers, cause they knew I was like, you know, charismatic, that I could get niggas, you know, like, you know, cause I was a natural born leader and charismatic. So they know I like, you know, I get niggas to ride. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, no, we gonna make sure you ain't gonna have no niggas around. Now what you gonna do? Nigga, you couldn't break, like, here's the part. You couldn't break me, because they fucked up. That's why I love my city. See, this is why I'm so passionate. Now, if I'd have came from where I'm from, Mount Clemens, I don't know. I probably would have been, I don't know. Maybe I just had the Ogun warrior spirit, a child of Ogun always in me. But once I got to Detroit and started fighting niggas on my own by myself, I don't give a, when I got there, I'm in like, what, 7th grade? I was fucking crackers up. I'm the only nigga. Call me nigga, I will beat your ass. I don't give a fuck who you are. Even the teacher. I had a principal motherfucker choke me, talk about, after I punched the shit out of this one white boy, talking about some, you can't hit somebody if they call you nigger. See, this is to try to break you. This is what they, when you the only one, they try to break you down and shit, right? So, this grown ass man, the principal, telling me that I can't hit somebody if they call me nigger, and I'm telling him like, nah, nigga, I'm defiant. I'm like, nah, you call me nigger, I'm gonna punch you, right? So I'm like, I'm a kid, you know, I'm in 7th fucking grade. So this nigga, he get mad, the white man get mad, telling me like, nah, you ain't going. I'm like, nah, yes I am. So the motherfucker he gonna come and grab me and start choking me on his desk, like he gonna beat me to make me accept that if somebody call me nigger, I better not say nothing. I better like just turn the other cheek. Are you out your motherfucking mind? I'm fighting this other y'all, so I'm fighting this motherfucker. And then even in the group home, I'm fighting like 6, 7 white boys by myself, because once they knew I was like they'll call me nigger on some slick shit. Nigga, I'm picking up pool balls, fucking weights, all kind of shit. I ain't give a fuck. So like after I fight like one white boy, so then like 2 or 3 will say some shit. I don't give a fuck if it's 10 of you niggas. I'm fighting all you niggas. No, niggas or fucking crackers. But I call crackers niggas too. For real. Cause, matter of fact, them are the niggas. Them the original niggas. Keeping it 100. The true definition of the word niggas, it's the motherfucking crackers. But if you couldn't break me then, when I'm being the only one, that's why I know. Ain't no motherfucker, cause like, real talk, that's why niggas couldn't even know what to do with me in the military. Cause I'm like, nigga, I ain't put up with that shit when I was a fucking kid by myself. All by myself. So when I got in the military, nigga, that's why I was fucking up so many white boys in the motherfucking military. Like, man, Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck if I get kicked out or what. You is not fucking gonna call me nigga or do no motherfucking racist shit. Bitch, I'm built for something different. I'm built to confront your ass. Ain't no bootlicking ass shit over here. I'm built to confront your ass. All right, yeah, but anyway, see, I told you I was gonna go on a tangent. All right. We believe that the racism exists in more than 6 precincts. We believe it's throughout the department, said Chris White with the Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality. It's a bold statement, and White said the organization stands behind it 100%. The coalition addressed Detroit City Council with 3 recommendations after Chief Craig mentioned racial issues with 6 precincts. See how this nigga, see, and look, and this is, hold up, pause again, pause. The news agencies be supporting the white racist bullshit that goes on, whether it's in the police department or the fucking injustice system, the legal system, but the injustice legal system here in Detroit. They won't report on shit. They don't hide motherfucking names. Just all kind of shit. They be on cold like a motherfucker. Every channel. 2, 4, and 7. I'm going to get them up. That's the old media. Them analog motherfuckers about to fuck out of here anyway. Yeah, but I'll be getting to them too. So that's a lot of motherfuckers I gotta get and go after and shit. So tune into my channel and shit, Real Detroit TV, because I will be going ham on these motherfuckers all the time. I ain't scared. I've already been identified as a BIE, Black Identity Extremist, since 2003 and shit. I done had these motherfuckers come at me in every motherfucking way possible, and I'm still here. And bitch, yes, I'm smart. It's all about black intelligentsia up in this motherfucker. And if you want to run up on me with that fuck shit, go ahead and take your chance and shit. But right now it's all about black intelligentsia and revealing these motherfuckers state, bringing light to these goddamn vampires and shit. And that's the only way we gonna change. You cannot be a coward. Don't be a motherfucking coward and shit. Because again, we gotta make this shit better for our babies. Keeping it 100. We have too many bootlicking ass niggas who too scared. They're not telling their kids on how to combat racism and to combat just self-hate niggas like this nigga Coon Craig, Sambo ass Craig, when you come across them. So if you know, like, most of them don't have their fathers in their life and shit like that, so they're not really getting no real game. They're not getting no real game on how to maneuver in this racist ass society that we live in, and this racist ass supposed to be black city that we live in, and the real world that they gotta maneuver in when they leave outside that house. So share, like, and subscribe. It's always gonna be real, and stay tuned to the next one and hit the alert button, hit that bell, so you can be alerted when I do upload something new.
Revolution. The only kind of revolution that's nonviolent is the Negro revolution. The only revolution based on loving your enemy is the Negro revolution. That's no revolution. A revolution is loving. Revolution is hostile. Revolution knows no compromise. Revolution overturns and destroys everything that gets in its way. And you sitting around here like a knot on the wall saying I'm going to love these folks no matter how much they hate me.
You call us savages and beasts and mad dogs running the street burning and looting, but we're doing this not for the destruction of the world, but we're trying to prove one point. We want freedom and justice and equality. We want to be treated equal. The best thing to do is give us freedom or at this place a riot with blood.
Here in Detroit, a city of war.